In the last video, I created a really simple executable in Go, and in this video, we're going to install that into SSH on my Raspberry Pi, so that when a user connects to that system through SSH, they get the program. So I'll just SSH to the machine. And there we are. And so the first thing I need to do is I need to cross-compile. The Raspberry Pi is a ARM architecture. It's actually an ARM 64, but because the 64-bit Pi OS is sort of in a testing phase, my Raspberry Pi is running a 32-bit ARM OS, and so we need to compile for 32-bit ARM. And I'm doing my coding right now on a Intel Mac. So anyway, let's cross-compile this. To do that, we will run this command. It's we need to set a couple environment variables. So Go OS is going to be Linux, since we're targeting Linux, and then Go Arch or architecture is going to be ARM. You can choose ARM or you can choose ARM 64, and so ARM is 32-bit, so that's what I'm going with. And then we do Go build fubaz.go. That's sort of a weird name that I called in the last video. So we're just going to go ahead and build that. And the output of that is this fubaz executable. I can't actually run the fubaz. Actually, I haven't tried, but I assume I can't run the fubaz because it's built for ARM, and so it won't run on my Mac. But there it is, ready to go for the ARM. And I'm just going to copy it over to that Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to run scp to copy it. So that's a secure copy. And I'm going to copy it to Pi. And the directory I'm going to put it in is, I'll probably just put it in my home directory for now. Let's give that a try. There we go. Great. So I'm just going to SSH to that Pi again. I'm going to do list. There's fubaz. Now I'll run fubaz here. Oh, who goes there? Joel. Who goes there? Jane. Hello, Jane. Who goes there? And I'm just going to hit exit. Great. So the command works. The next thing I need to do is I need to move it in place. I'm just going to move fubaz to the user local bin directory. Oh, can't. That's because I need to be sudo in order to move something there. Good. And then just list it, make sure it's there, and it is. Great. All right, I have moved that in place. So the next thing I need to do is I need to configure SSH. Normally when you connect to SSH, it runs your shell, or a system default shell, or the one that you have configured. And so we want to configure SSH so that it runs the fubaz command instead of the default shell. I actually think, I don't understand the mechanics exactly, but I think it may be running the shell and then executing this program on top of the shell, as opposed to running it in place of a shell. Not positive about that, but I suspect so. Anyway, so the config for this is in etc SSH, and I believe it's sshd or underscore config, it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that file. And I'm just going to jump to the bottom of it. Most things in here are commented out. And I know from doing a little bit of a web search, looks like I'm in read-only mode. So I need to do this as sudo. And all right, so I know that from research in advance that I need to do a force command. And then the command that I want to run is user local bin fubaz. I believe that's where we just put it, right? I think so. So that's it. I write that. That's going to run for every user. You see I put it up here in the top. We could run it for specific users if we wanted to in this section at the bottom. But I'm going to run it for all users. And I have access to the Pi. It's sitting behind me. And so I can just turn around and connect to this machine. Be very careful if you're doing this to something that is not sitting right next to you, because as soon as I do this, it will run this command every time I connect to the server through SSH, and I will not be able to do anything else. So warning for you there, be careful. And I don't know for sure, but I probably need to restart SSH for this to stick. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that with service sshd restart, and I bet I need to run that as sudo, as root rather. All right, and so let's try it. I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect from there. And I'm just going to clear my screen. That's a habit I have. It may be a bad habit, but clear my screen often. All right, so let's SSH to that as Pi again. It's on my local network. So I'll just SSH there. Oh, look, there is. Who goes there? Joel. Hi, Joel. And I type exit, and I'm disconnected. So there we have it. We're running the shell directly on my Raspberry Pi, and every time I connect to it, it in fact runs that program, and that's all I have access to at this point. So pretty cool. That is what I want to do, and now I can go write a custom program that does whatever I want when somebody connects to my machine. So pretty simple. What did this take? Only a couple of minutes, a few minutes. It's always takes longer than it feels like when you're coding, at least for me. But anyway, a pretty straightforward process. So hope you enjoyed it.